And then there's the labels, and there's choosing an identity for your sexuality. I hadn't realised what a minefield it was out there. I hadn't realised how spicy and politicised it had all got. I hadn't realised how sensitive it all was. I hadn't realised the wars that were going on. I hadn't realised the thesis that they were behind every single one of these identities. Oh my God, I hadn't realised what I was getting myself into. Also, I hadn't realised how lucky I'd been up until this point to have previously been born into every label I'd ever had, like a beautiful, comfy nest, never had to pick a new one. And when you're adult, you know, you always think you already know who you are. It's really confusing. You don't know what to do. I fucked it up. I thought, well, I'll just try them on like clothes, see what I feel like suits me. That's a great way to do it. I made so many mistakes. Initially, I told everyone I was bisexual. Then I learnt about pansexuality. Thought that much better describes me, but identified as pansexual on Radio 4's Now show, and Twitter lit up. And let me know that I had single-handedly erased bisexuality. I didn't know I could do that all by myself. I don't know if you've ever felt simultaneous sadness, shame, and incredible power. It's confusing, and frankly, enough to put you off. I was like, oh God, I can't be arsed with this. Don't involve me in your argument I didn't even know existed. I can't join in with a war I didn't even know was there. Oh, I can't be bothered with this. I'm not going to have a sexuality then. I'm just not going to have a sexuality identity. I'm going to be one of those people that refuses to talk about it. I'm just going to say it's none of your business. I'm just going to Cliff Richard this shit. And then I thought, no, it's not good enough. That's not very respectful, is it? To the hundreds of thousands of people who sacrificed and died in the pursuit of equality for LGBT plus people. Jess, you got to have an identity, you got to have a sexuality, you're right to make up your own one, have a bespoke one. But all I could think of was swings all ways, or potentially liable to fancy literally fucking anyone. I think we can all agree, not very catchy, and it makes me sound even less discerning than we've already established that I aren't. So I'm left with queer, I identify as queer. I mean, it does the job, doesn't it? It covers every base. I would say it's arguably a little bit rudely vague. It does shut down future conversation, doesn't it? It means so many things. Yeah, I mean, I do feel a little bit, like, when I identify as queer, I feel a little bit like someone's gone, where do you live? And I've gone, Earth. But it does the job. The only other real problem I've got with queer is that, as a word, is, you know, I've got boomers in my life, and I've only just persuaded them to stop using that as a slur. And, you know, I have some sympathy. I've got people in my life, boomer age, who say to me, oh, did you just say queer? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, oh, right. Well, you just bring a word back, do you? You just use that one. Because it's decades ago that you stopped, you know, that we all stopped saying. So what other words are back? Careful, Mum! Careful! I don't think we often enough doff our caps to anyone at least attempting to keep up linguistically with kindness, because we're changing things at such an incredible pace now that it is really hard to keep up. I don't think we anywhere near often enough acknowledge the fact that all the language that we here right now today are using to be as kind and inclusive and progressive as possible will, in quite a short space of time, be the bad words, the toxic words, the words we hope that everyone can everyone try and forget that we ever said. Actually, can you see what I'm doing here? I'm covering my future back. Because I don't stand a fucking chance. I've missed every single memo that's come my way over time. There's no way I'm keeping up linguistically with kindness. I do not stand a chance. I've got a 7-year-old. I give it 5 years max before I walk past my son and he's saying to a friend, oh my God, you just overhear my mum. She just said neurodiverse, what bigger? I'll be like, I thought it was a kind word. He'd be like, yeah, okay, millennial. I think we can get so kind of tense over language that it can make people, even people who are definitely kind, panic. Harmony's actually a really good example. My neighbour, because she watched my life transform from over the road. I mean, literally from opposite. You know, she watched me move into the house opposite her with a man and a kid. It's pretty conventional. It's pretty unchallenging. But then she watched the man go away. She watched the man go away. And then she watched a woman come round. Again and again and again, again and again. To be clear, when I titled the show Wench, it was meant to be quite a lot more women. I had no idea it'd only take me 3 months to fall in love. Livid. She watched one woman come round again and 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 again, hopefully forever. And she 100% took that in her stride. Harmony couldn't have cared less. She totally got it. She couldn't have given a shit. But every now and again, over words, she'd get in a pickle. So there'd be times where she was like, well, don't worry, I'll get the parcel if you want later from your. I always put her out of her misery and said girlfriend, but I was desperately hoping that one day she'd go for gentle lady caller.